Anime, anime TV, chat. Hello and welcome to Anime TV. I'm your host, long time no see, and today I'm going to be talking about the things I picked up during the Christmas sales. As always, the 1st of December marks the start of Anime Limited's world famous Christmas sales, and this year was better than ever before. Prices were so low, it was unbelievable, and I came away with 12 items this year. So I'm going to be talking about what I picked up, why I picked them up, and how much I paid for them. Okay, first up, I have Pat Labor Movies 1, 2, and 3. Now, each one of these was £5 each, so £15 in total for the 3 Blu-ray movies. I've seen Pat Labor 1 and 2 a long time ago, and they've only just recently been re-released on Blu-ray, so I couldn't resist adding them to my collection. Basically, the Pat Labor series is a series of police people that defend the city using mecha instead of, cars and guns and all that sort of stuff. And, it's a really, really good show. The first movie is my absolute favourite, and I've seen it hundreds of times. I've got it on DVD still, and it's one of my favourite anime movies of all time. It's absolutely brilliant. The second one, on the other hand, I've really struggled with hundreds and hundreds of times before. I think I probably watched it, well, 5 or 6 times, not 100, but most of those 5 or 6 times I've fallen asleep long before the end. It's for me, it's always been a bit of a snore fest, but the more and more I'm online, the more and more I hear people talk about how Pat Labor 2 is one of the greatest movies of all time. So I thought, now it's out on Blu-ray again, I'll give it another go and see, if I was wrong all these many, many times. And as for the third film, I haven't seen it. I know it's not quite as well received as the first and second movies, but like I say, I love the franchise and I've never seen it before, so at £5, this was a great opportunity to check it out. Next up is Millennium Actress, a movie by Satoshi Kon. This cost me £5 again, I believe. And again, it's a movie I've seen before. I love it to bits. I think it's one of the best anime movies of all time. It's about a reporter who goes to meet an actress who was the biggest actress in the world, but then one day she just stopped making movies and absolutely disappeared. And the guys, going to find out what happened and what she's been doing all this time. And as always, it's Satoshi Kon, so reality blends with fiction, and it just gets very sort of trippy. And yeah, it's just a really fantastic movie. I really love Satoshi Kon. Like I say, I've seen this movie before. I've already got it on VHS, not VHS, DVD, but I wanted to upgrade to Blu-ray. Massive fan of Satoshi Kon. I've also got Perfect Blue on Blu-ray and on DVD. I've got the Opus manga of his, Seraphim Wings, with some numbers in between which I'm not reading. Another great manga. And I've also got just a load of his shorts as well on manga. So yeah, as you can see, I'm an absolutely massive Satoshi Kon fan. So having Millennium Actress back in my collection on Blu-ray was an absolute must. Next up, I have Gunbuster on Blu-ray. Yeah, again, this was £5, or it's probably about £7 in dollars if you want the American figure. This is not a movie, it is a TV series. I have never seen it before, actually. It's one of those movies that's always been around in the era that I was watching anime, or when I first started watching anime, but somehow I just never happened to get to see it. I don't know why. There was lots of movies. I was watching movies every single week back in those days, but now, I haven't had, I didn't get the chance to see it until now. So really looking forward to checking out this one. It's been top of my to-watch list for a really long time. Whenever you go around on the internet, reading about classic anime, this is one of the big ones that people talk about over and over again. So, it's possibly one of the greatest animes of all time. So 6 episodes. I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Yeah, again, I don't know much about the story. It's about a girl training to go and fight in space. And I think probably some things involving how time moves differently in space. So people on Earth are aging when she's not. But really, that's about as much as I know about this one. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking that out. Next up is Venus Wars on Blu-ray. This is a very sort of similar case with Gunbuster, really. It was around for absolutely years when I was starting to watch anime, but it just never happened to be on the telly when I was watching it. So I'd see loads of other anime, but just never this one. And, you know, it's sort of like, in the UK, it sort of dwindled away into obscurity, really. It wasn't really one I ever heard much about. But I joined a retro anime group on Facebook a little while ago, and the people started posting like AMVs of this anime, and I was just like, oh wow, that looks really cool. I really need to check out that one. So, you know, I was like, well, it's long out of print. How am I get it? But then, like a couple of months ago, Anime Limited re-released it, and I'm like, oh yes, perfect, exactly what I wanted. So I picked it up for £5, and I'm absolutely delighted with that one. Can't wait to check it out. As for what the actual anime is about, I yet again don't know a lot about it because I haven't seen it. But I think humanity has colonized the planet Venus, but then wars kicked out on one side of Venus is arguing with some other side of Venus, and it's basically up to a load of biker gangs to sort of change, to sway the tide of war, basically. So yeah, it's supposed to be really good, so really looking forward to that one. Next up is Vision of Esclafone, the TV show and the movie. This one was a little bit more expensive than the £5 I've been laying up towards now. It was £10 for the TV series and £5 for the movie, so £15 in all. So yeah, I'm starting to shake with how much I spent on that one. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot longer content. I think the TV series is 26 episodes, so it definitely merited the £10. Yeah, again, as with quite a lot of the things I'm mentioning, I haven't seen either of these before. But yeah, again, Esclafone's been around for a long time, and it's always sort of had the reputation as an absolute classic. But I've always sort of steered away from it. It's been the sale year after year, but I've always sort of looked at it and said, ugh, it's fantasy. I hate fantasy. But yet again, in the retro anime group that I'm in, someone posted an AMV of Esclafone, and I was like, okay, changed my mind. I'm checking out that one. I don't know why, like, YouTube with all its copyright, oh, you can't do that, you're using our content. Like, these AMVs, like, they've sold me. Like, let people use content, it sells stuff. Yeah, but Esclafone, yeah, again, don't know a lot about, but I think the general gist is it's a high school girl who's really into tarot cards and athletics, you know, that those two go together hand in hand. And she's been whisked away to a magical kingdom, like, isekai. But I think, you know, there's lots of big mecha war playing out again, and basically she's using her tarot card ability to gain the advantage in the war using big giant mecha robots. So, like, you know, even from the like synopsis, I'm like, I don't know why I bought this. Like, I hate all of those things, but you know, I've seen the AMVs, and I think I'm actually going to really enjoy Esclafone. There's a reason it's a classic. There's a reason it keeps getting released year after year in all these different formats. So, despite how it may sound, I'm actually really looking forward to that. Next up is Memories, which I think is 3 short movies. Yeah, running time 115 minutes. There's 3 episodes. So yeah, it's 3 short movies. It cost me £5 again. It's basically, it's been around for ages. Yet again, I haven't watched it. Really sort of letting the retro side down. But it's not one that I've, you know, I read the back and I still don't really know what it's all about or why these 3 episodes are even related. All I know is it's directed by Katsuhiro Otomo, who directed Akira and Steam Boy, etc., etc. And I think that just automatically comes with a high reputation, and for that reason, people absolutely love this. So I assume I'm going to be the same. I think there are more famous people involved. I think the guy who did Monster and 20th Century Boys is involved somewhere. Some of the artwork looks similar to his, so that could be the case. But yeah, I'm going into it very blind, not really sure what to expect. But I really like the box art on this one, so I thought, for £5, how can you go wrong? Next up is Nadia, Secret of the Blue Water. As you'll notice, I'm getting slightly better at showing you the DVD cases, Blu-ray cases now. I was not doing well at the beginning. Nadia, Secret of the Blue Water on Blu-ray, which I believe is 39 episodes. So although £10, I'm getting value for money. And once again, it's not one that I know crazy amounts about. Yet again, you if you start talking to people that have got a strong interest in retro anime, Nadia will keep cropping up over and over again, and it's sort of that reason that I've sort of gone to it. I think it's either directed or mostly directed by Hideaki Anno, who did Neon Genesis Evangelion, and was involved in Gunbuster that I held up earlier as well. I mean, it's all Studio Gainax, so they're all sort of involved. And he's a world-class director. He's made a lot of good stuff. If he's involved, it's a sign of quality. So for that reason, I mean, this is older than Evangelion. This is sort of like a warm-up to Evangelion. But yeah, for that reason, I was sort of tied to this one and sort of wanted to check it out. I mean, I've sort of stayed away from it for a while because it is. I think it's probably a lot older than the things I've been holding up until now. And I know the animation style is going to be like a little bit cutesy, possibly a little bit Western in ways, and maybe just a little bit too old for me. But after watching the original Mobile Suit Gundam series recently, I've sort of like come to terms with it. It's not going to be serious all the time. There's going to be a couple of bits where you've got to give it the benefit of the doubt. But like in Blu-ray, it looks good and it's perfectly enjoyable. So I think I'm going to get a lot out of this show. And if not, I'm just going to have a fun time watching it. Again, you're not going to get a great synopsis here. And anyone that's ever seen the show is going to be like, shut up, man, you're butchering it. But I think basically the gist is, I think they go into like a creation expo where all the great people that are making stuff in the world are all coming together. And I think they're in Paris and Nadia appears with a magical blue crystal around her neck. And lots of people are chasing after her, either because they're interested in her or the blue crystal. I'm not really sure. And she runs away with someone that I assume's a French bloke. He's called John, so he could be French, I suppose. And then they just sort of take to the sky, take to the seas, and just go off on all sort of hijinks. So if that's wrong, I apologise. And if that's correct, then hopefully it will be good. But yeah, £10, but I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully that will be good. And last up, I have two TV series that both cost me £5 each, and that is Canon. A bit of a zoom in, and Air. Canon is 24 episodes. Air is 12 episodes plus 2 OVAs. As you would expect by now, I have not seen either of these. But I mean, I think people that have heard of these series will probably know why I was drawn to them. Basically, there is a visual novel company called Keywise, I think. Key something animation? Who knows? Key something. We'll go with Key Visual. Key Visual could be right. And they started making, these visual novel games. And Canon was the first ever game they made. Air was the second ever game they made. And the third game they ever made was a very famous anime called Clannad. And I think all three, I think, are done by KyoAni, but it could just be Clannad that's done by KyoAni. But basically, these are the three first things off the conveyor belt of Key Visual, and I really like Clannad. I thought Clannad was a fantastic show. I may have cried 3, possibly 4 times during watching it, and it's not my very favourite anime of all time, but I thought it was a really, really good show. And anything that's come from a very sort of similar place like Canon and Air, I'd be interested in seeing. And I mean, like, even like looking at some of like look at like the character there in the yellow jacket, like that's the girl from Clamad. Like the art designs are going to be very similar. The story's probably going to have a very sort of similar way of telling it. And I, you know, for £5 each, I didn't think I could afford to miss out on that one. Like, these were the things that I missed out on the first day of the sale, and like on day 2, I was going back like, going, I want Canon, I missed it, damn it. So, you know, I really, by the end of the sale, I really want these two. So I'm glad I managed to get them all, because Canon went out of, it was unavailable after day 1 and then came back like day 4. So I like quick front of the line buy it, not missing out again. And yeah, that's about all I know about them. I think this one might be Canon, might be about a boy that's been away from his hometown for a really long time and then comes back again, and he can't really remember anything, but there's lots of just weird women surrounding themselves around him, and he's just trying to sort of figure his past out. Yeah, again, if you've seen that show and you know I'm horribly wrong, come and slap me in the face in the comments. And as for Air, I think on the back it says it's about a guy who's looking for a woman that flies amongst the clouds or some nonsense. And then he meets a woman that dreams of flying amongst the clouds. I do not know what to expect from that terrible synopsis, but hopefully it's better than it sounds. But if not, you know, it's £5. I'll recover after a couple of lessons of therapy or something. Anyway, that's all 12 items. And that's everything I've got to say. Thank you for watching the video, and everyone have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. P.S. Don't forget to support this small channel by subscribing and watching some of our other videos.